Hi everyone, welcome to my very first YouTube process video and Happy New Year to you all. I'm making the shaker card for the current AAA birthday challenge who I'm a design team member for. I'm starting off by ink blending Distress Oxide inks Salty Ocean and Blueprint Sketch over Bristol Smooth cardstock. It's the best cardstock I've found for ink blending, so you don't get lots of marks left by your blending tool. I'm using a makeup brush purchased from Kmart in New Zealand, or Australia also have Kmart, although I think I might have bought the very last ones at our local shop because I haven't seen them since. I first blend on the glass mat and then take the brush over to the cardstock. It stops any stray marks appearing. Excuse the shakiness of the video. My iPad's actually attached to the desk, so I think I'll have to change that next time. As you can see, I'm still blending. It's best to build up layers slowly when you're ink blending, but you can get some really nice depth. So once I've finished blending, then I'm going to cut a piece of vellum. So my card base is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and my vellum overlay is 4 3/4 by 6. So that gives me 1/4 of an inch around, which I'm now scoring. I love how this makes a flatter shaker card than what you would normally get. It's much easier if you're posting it out, so you don't have to pay the extra postage. So now I'm just folding over the score lines and seeing if the card base fits. It was a little bit tight, so I end up cutting a smidgen off the side, probably only 1/8 of an inch, just to make it fit a little bit better. I made sure I chose a vellum that wasn't too thick, because then it's not a see-through and you won't be able to see the shake elements as well. So I went through my stash of coloured vellums and ended up just going with the white. So I'm just cutting off the edges of the scored sections, and that just makes it fold over easier when you're adhering it to the back. So I'm also cutting off on a slight angle. So now I'm just getting my double-sided tape. I think it's the Be Creative tape I use, but any strong tape would suit. It's the 1/4 inch one. So I'm just adhering that around the edges of the back of the card base, and the vellum will then be adhered to that. So to take the backing paper off 3 sides, then that will leave the top open, so I'll be able to put my shaker elements inside. So as it was a birthday card, I decided to use some star shaker elements. And it's a multicoloured, it's called Hollow Multi. It's by Sullivan's, and it's just a brand that I'm not even sure where it comes from. Just from my local shop here, but it's got gold, green, purple, pink, red, silver, multicoloured anyway, so thought that was a good fit for being a birthday card. Now the image I'd actually coloured earlier, so you won't be seeing that, but I was going to just do a tag to put the sentiment on, so I'm just die cutting that using the My Favourite Things Blueprints 27, one of the tags out of that, and it's got a little faux stitching on the edge. So then I'm going to stamp the sentiment using my mini Misty, which is a godsend, especially for me who not so good at stamping without it, particularly for sentiments. And the sentiment is from the Polar Bear Pals, also from My Favourite Things, and it says, "I come bearing gifts." So I thought that was appropriate, seems the bear was sitting in a little gift box. So I'm just stamping it with Ranger Archival ink in black, and I did it about 3 times just to get a good depth of blackness on it. I probably need to re-ink my stamp pad. Also, make sure you give the ink a little bit of time to dry. I'm a terrible one for having smudge my sentiments because I'm too quick to try and get them on the card. So then I've just, excuse me for being off screen there, I've just put some double-sided dimensional foam tape just to pop it up a little bit. And the image I'm now attaching, I've got some glue dots on the top, and then I'm attaching that bottom part directly to the sentiment strip, so I used a bit of glue just to keep that in place. So that's the main part of it done. I thought I'd finish, but then I decided that I was going to add some of those star embellishments on the outside. So I'm just using some glossy accents. I find that's the best one that adheres, particularly little embellishments, and I'm using a jewel picker to pick up the different colours and deciding on where I'm just going to place them. I'm not applying too many because there's quite a bit going on with the shaker portion of the card. So it's not very interesting watching me glue them down. That one I ended up taking off because it was actually completely clear, so you couldn't even see it. So I just added a different star onto the card. The jewel pickers are really good. So when I'm putting embellishments on, I tend to use the rule of odd numbers, so they're sort of in groups of 3. So the card is now finished, and I haven't shown you putting it actually onto the card base, but that's just a white card stock. So thanks for watching. Any feedback would be most welcome, and I'll see you next time. See ya.